And hello, welcome to the TikTok panel. Oh gosh, just like TikTok, I've kind of changed the name of this panel many times. So apparently it's now branding outside of books, TikTok, videos, and audience engagement. So yeah, like I said, I changed the title. Anyway, welcome. We have Crystal J. Johnson and Felicity Vaughn, the writing duo, and Jenna. Jenna, well, she's well known as Jenna Nids. I'm so sorry. I'm going to butcher your name. Jenna Nidzwecki.
Close. Jenna Nidzwecki.
Okay, fine. Jenna is she's not a Wattpad star yet. Wattpad, I hope you're watching. But she's gone to great prominence on TikTok and with her recommendations on books. So we are going to get right into that. Like, what is the key to growing your audience in these new platforms? So we're going to start with TikTok. So Jenna, what did you do? How did you just manage to make them work together so well?
So I always say this, but I think the key to growing your audience on TikTok is not being afraid to follow trends. Follow these trending sounds, these trending videos, and incorporate it with your book or just books in general. I know I started out just posting Wattpad recommendations, and I figured out how that worked with trending sounds and trending videos over on Book Talk, and then I transferred that into my own book and just kind of like mixed the two. So the audiences are out there. They're just they're in these trending videos, trending sounds. Like TikTok loves trends, so follow trends.
Okay, Felicity, what about you? You're the TikTok part of the duo, so I'm going to focus on you for this one. Oh, you're muted. I can't hear you. Okay, let's try again and go. Okay, this is extremely odd. I can't hear you. Can anybody hear her, or is this me?
No, I can't hear either.
Okay, Crystal, you may have to take this question. We got to keep going. So
I'll jump in while Felicity tries to fix it. I think one of the things that she does really well with our TikTok is that she is consistent with posting all the time. There is not a day that goes by that we're not putting up new content on TikTok. We try to post anywhere from 4 to 6 times a day, just so we are hitting audiences all over the place in different parts of the world. So I think that that's really important to us, and that has done wonders with growing our audience there.
Okay, hopefully Felicity is ready to go. Give us some words, Felicity. Okay, we still can't hear you. Okay. I don't know what's going on. We want to hear you. Okay, so I guess we should just move on to the next question while we wait for Felicity to get sorted out. I'm sorry. I forgot to actually do the introduction at the top of the chat, which is that we have the ongoing competition, and you have a chance to win 100 Wattpad coins. You need to just in the comments type "We Thrive Together" along with your Wattpad username. And with that segue, Rachel should be back. No, okay. Just let us know. Oh, I'm sorry. Now I'm calling you Rachel.
I call her by real name. That's okay though. She goes by that too.
Okay. Anyway, the second question is, what type of content do you find that captures people's attention? Jenna, you want to go here? Because I know you started off making a lot of recommendations.
So I would say that as of right now on TikTok, what captures people's attention a lot is posting direct scenarios and scenes from your book or a book in general, and posting it with like a trending sound, and it's like going viral. Like these videos are going viral. It's crazy. But I would say that the trends are always changing. So before it was very much like, give me as many book recs in one video as you can. But now, right now specifically, it's, take a scene from your book that you're really proud of, or like a really like juicy scene, like something really important, and like post a couple like lines from it. And that grabs people's attention within that 15 seconds. And they click the comments to see where the book is and like how to read it and all that. So That's what I would say.
I've been seeing a lot of the people just posting scenarios where they actually reading the a certain line from and they sometimes even dress as a character, and then they dress someone else, and then they're just going kind of doing a back and forth. Is that what
I think on top of, I was gonna say, I think on top of what Jenna's saying, the one thing that's kind of really cool, and it kind of throws off people on TikTok, is when somebody comes on and they start acting as their character and they're giving a scenario. I had the worst day at college, blah, 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 blah. And they're giving the whole scenario. And then at the end, they kind of hit you with, and that's my book. And you're like, oh my gosh, that was like the greatest story. Now I kind of want to go read that. So I think that's a really cool trend that I see a lot happening with authors on TikTok as well.
I haven't seen that one. That actually sounds pretty fun.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I think I'm going to go try that immediately after this.
That one gets a lot of people. Like a lot of people, people get so invested in the story you're telling. Like it sounds like your life, and then at the end, it's like, oh, this is a story that you can read because you're saying it in first person. Like, oh, I had a really bad day, so I met this person, and he did this. Yeah. And like people are like, what? This is you? Like, so yeah.
Are the story time videos still trending, or is that
I would say those are always always a go-to trend. It's always a way to pitch a book or give a book recommendation. So that in scenarios, and obviously just like this is a trope. So yeah.
Okay. So Felicity.
I think I'm back.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
I have no idea. Everything was good. I just had to log out and log back in. So turn it off, turn it back on.
Welcome back to the internet.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so talk to us about some of the trends.
I don't know what y'all said while I was gone, so if I repeat something, sorry.
Okay, well, I can always repeat the question. What type of content do you find captures people's attention? We were talking about how it is actually changed and it is constantly evolving.
Okay. One of my favorite things to do is make aesthetic videos. And this is something you can do if you're one of those people that does not want to show your face, because we have several of those people. I've made one of these and I've never had to make another template. I just use the same template over and over again. You can just replace the pictures for whatever book it is you're using. You can do it for your book, another published book, another Wattpad book, whatever. You can find a song that's trending, different pictures on Pinterest, on Canva Pro, whatever. And people love those. You just plug in the pictures, put a song behind it, maybe put some quotes on it, and you're convincing them to read whatever book it is by the aesthetic. And people love those. And they're super easy to make. You can make them in 15 seconds, and that's the best length. Anything under 15 seconds to keep people's attention, best.
You say it's easy to do, but I've tried making aesthetics, and I'm a designer, and I can't get my head around it.
Rodney, I'll be glad to send you my template on Canva Pro, and you'll see how easy it is.
Yeah, but yes, the template is fine, but it's just I can't get my head
You can
around.
do it. You can do it. I promise.
Okay. Okay, so we are going to go into the next question. What is one thing that writers do wrong when promoting their books on these platforms?
I think the number one thing they do wrong is that they're just promoting their books, and they're not giving another shout out to some other Wattpad writers, or they're not talking about them personally and getting their viewers involved with them. So when you're constantly putting out your story over and over again, you're putting in your stories on, even this goes for Instagram, why am I invested in that? Why should I be invested in your story? And when I'm bombarded with that all the time, it's a good way to lose followers. So to kind of be eclectic in the way that you are handling your TikTok is a great idea. Like, you want to have other content that's really getting them invested in you personally before you just hit them all the time with read my book, read my book, read my book.
Okay. Well, are you talking about TikTok specifically, or are you talking about YouTube? Because you're the YouTuber, well, YouTube arm of the.
YouTube's a little different. Whereas with YouTube, you really want to make sure that it comes as a secondary to read the book. What we're really trying to do in YouTube is trying to bring them in with content that they're invested in wanting to see every week. So there's consistency in posting your video every week, and then making sure that whatever your topic is, so for Felicity and me, our topic is all about writing, and we really concentrate on Wattpad writers and how we're taking stories from Wattpad and self-publishing them or traditionally publishing them. So that is always our template. And then in there with that, we always want to promote ourselves. So at the end of our videos, we always go through a little quick thing that if you enjoyed the video, to subscribe. And then we're talking about our stories. And hey, go check us out over at Wattpad. So we're using that as secondary. We don't want to hit those viewers with the reason I brought you here was just to read my story. I brought you here to give you valuable content. And then hopefully you really enjoyed that content. And now you want to go and read my story.
Okay, what about you, Jenna? Do you find it easy to you have a YouTube channel as well, but you do something different on YouTube because the platforms are different in how they actually take content and approach the content. So do you find it difficult to actually bring people over, or you just tell us what your approach there?
I do think it's hard. It's definitely hard to take your audience from one platform to another, especially YouTube. TikTok is very short, and a lot of people's attention spans have become shorter because of TikTok. So moving to YouTube, where videos are generally longer, there's a loss in like instant satisfaction of getting a book recommendation or instant like knowing what the video is about. I have some people come over to YouTube. I'm not super consistent on there, but definitely TikTok is where it's at right now, where most of my audience is. But TikTok to Instagram has been a little bit better because you can kind of post your TikTok content on Instagram. Instagram has Reels, so I highly suggest doing that as well, is taking your TikToks and downloading them and posting them on Reels, because there's a lot of people on Reels as well. I didn't know that was a thing. But yeah, definitely. And like the question being like, oh, what are writers doing or authors doing wrong? I always say to promote and like suggest your book like you would any other book. Like if you were promoting your like a book you really love, do it in the same style that you would your own book. So like if you're making a recommendation video, throw your book in there, because like shameless promo. So that's how I do it. I just even it out, like I'm not my book and then my book here and there.
Okay, when do you actually find the time to write though? Because these platforms can be so involved and so time consuming that that people will actually end up doing more work there and find out that they're not taking the time to write. How do you try to find the balance?
So I'm not gonna lie, right now it's really hard. But back when I wrote my book last year, I was in school. I guess I would just set a goal for me every day with writing, whether that be a chapter or 1,000 words. I remember just wanting to get something done with writing. I would always set a goal for writing, but I always put TikTok and social media kind of not on a back burner, but like I didn't hold it as a higher priority, because that was easier in a sense for me than writing, because writing took more thought and time and energy. And TikTok, I could just pick it up, pick a sound that I liked, and then just like threw an idea together quickly. So I guess finding a balance in what works with you, whether you're in school or work, and then setting time every day to write, and then also maybe like an hour to make some videos. But that's usually what I did.
Okay, Crystal, you want to go?
Actually, I'm gonna give this one to Felicity.
No, I want you.
Yeah. All right, for YouTube, we set a schedule for YouTube every Sunday, without a doubt. Tomorrow, we're gonna sit down, and we usually do 2 videos. So we always have, I call it the hopper. I always have videos in the hopper because we never want to miss a week. For almost 2 years, we have posted a video on YouTube every single Friday, without a doubt. So we always want to be ahead of it. And then that way, that gives us a little bit of, playing room. So for instance, when we were doing our content edits for Spellbound, for Wattpad books, it didn't affect our YouTube schedule, which is really important. That's the most important part of YouTube, is just being consistent with posting. So we were able to let YouTube go for a couple weeks and just everything just went up the way it went, because we can schedule it. It's so easy. And we were able to concentrate at that point on just our content edits, which are really important. So I think that making sure that you are just setting that time aside and you're looking ahead to the future. So vacations and whatnot. Felicity and I went to Vegas a couple weeks ago, and we made sure we had YouTube videos ready to go. So I think you just have to think of it all as a kind of a big package. And it's really important too, if you're going to go from Wattpad to publishing, I just want to make this so clear because I think people forget this. Just because your book gets picked up to be published does not mean your marketing is done. It doesn't mean automatically people come to you. So that's why things like TikTok and YouTube and the rest of our social media is so important, because it's our job as writers to bring people in to buy our books. So if this is your big dream is to write and to be published, I really want you to think about your social media and how you're doing that right now, because you do not want to be 6 months out from a published book and scrambling and trying to build your author platform. This should be part of your author platform starting today.
Yeah.
Okay, Felicity, please.
So the writing, keeping the writing balance and the social media balance. I agree with what Jenna said about putting the social media a little bit behind the writing, because let's face it, if you're not writing, what are you promoting? So you want to make sure that you're keeping your writing consistent too. So I know why Crystal wanted to give me this question to make sure I answered this, because whenever we're 2 hours apart, which tonight will only be 1 hour apart, because finally we're falling back to my daylight savings time. So, but usually for a long time we're 2 hours apart, and so whenever she's at work and I'm at home, I will take every bit of time I have when we're not writing, and I will sit down and just make a bunch of TikToks. I'll just film them. I may not even know what I'm going to use them for. I won't put any text on them. I'll just film them and I'll have them in my drafts just sitting there. And so I would really suggest to you to just take whatever little bit of time you have and just use it. Just whatever time you can grab. And I don't have children. I don't have small children. So if you're trying to write and make this dream happen and you have small children, bless you. I know it's hard. I don't have that. But whatever little time you can grab, just take it. And it is hard to find a balance, but do make sure that you're keeping yourself consistent as much as possible, because the marketing thing is true. It doesn't matter if you're going to be traditionally published or not. You have to continue marketing yourself. You don't want to be right before your book release and you don't have your social media platform built. You have to keep building it and getting your following built up. So please do that. You don't want to be about to release your book and you don't have that built. It's really important.
Okay. Well, there are some questions coming in from the audience, so I'm gonna hit the first one. What's the best time of day to post on TikTok? Jenna, do you want to take this one up?
Sure. So I'm always trying to figure this out, honestly. I feel like I always figure it out and then it's never that. But I found that so in the morning around, or like midday around noon Eastern time, I usually post one video. And then later on around between 4 and 6 p.m. Eastern time, I usually got a good response. So, but also TikTok has a feature where you can go into your settings and you can go into your profile and you can find when your followers are most active. And I suggest posting when it says, and also just like experimenting and finding when your followers actually are most active, because that might not be accurate. But yeah, definitely like midday and like 4 to 6 p.m. I usually post.
Okay. Is there any advice from you guys about posting?
That's pretty spot on from what we've seen. We went through a boot camp with a guy who helps people grow their TikToks, and that's almost exactly the time that he gave us. I would say also around 6 to 8 Central, and that's whatever your time zone is, your local time zone. Around that time too, is also good. So you're pretty much spot on.
What about YouTube though? Because that algorithm is always changing.
For YouTube, I think more important than setting something up for like a certain time is, again, just being consistent. So if you're going to post videos every Friday, that they're always posted on Friday. And so you're dealing more, you want to think of it more as dealing with people watching a TV show. We all know when our favorite TV show is going to be on. So you want to treat it that same way. So everybody knows that, you know, every week at 2 o'clock Phoenix time, because we don't do daylight savings, every week at 2 o'clock on Friday, a video is going to go up on our YouTube channel. So, and you see it, like people are waiting for it, that notification bell goes off, they know it's going to go off on Friday, and they're right there and they're watching the video right away. We have hardly any lag time before somebody's already in there, and we can click on it and see that people have been there. So just that consistency of, if you say you're going to upload this day, you're going to upload that day.
Okay, let's move on to trends. How do you find trends before they're huge? Because if you get lost if they're too big. Do you go chasing trends, or do you try to like just feel your way and just be the zeitgeist?
I say try and find it right when it's blowing up. So like you'll start to notice a trend because your For You page will start to have similar style videos, and you'll notice it, I promise, because if your For You page is catered to you. So if you like books, you're going to see all those videos. So I find that I notice a trend starting to happen within a couple days, like immediately, because video after video is the same thing. And then that's when you want to start it. And that's when you want to post a video with it, because that's just going to keep going up and up and up. So try, but like honestly, those trends, like they last a little while too. So like if you get there too late, you still can post a video and have a pretty good outcome. But yes, you'll definitely notice, because your For You page will be video after video of the same trend.
Absolutely. There's some trends that were going like 2 months ago that I'm still seeing all over the For You page.
Oh,
so
yeah.
They go for a while. And go on the Discover page and look at the trending hashtags. Go on the sounds and look at the TikTok viral, so you can see the like top 10 songs that, and just even just using the song behind whatever it is you're doing, even if you're not doing a particular dance or a particular whatever, just using the song really helps too.
All right. So advice for doing TikTok and YouTube when you're shy, or if you want to stay anonymous.
For YouTube, Nikki Pierce books, that's I always talk about Nikki because she just does a really good job, and she's anonymous as far as her face goes, and she's just built a really great brand behind her that's very noticeable. And one of the things that she does on YouTube is she actually has been doing chapter reads with her books from Wattpad, and I believe, Mr. Rodney, you do those for other people as well.
For chapters.
The chapters. So I think the chapter reads is a great way, especially when you're doing them for somebody else on YouTube. So I think that works well. YouTube is really hard to do without showing your face, because again, we're dealing with more of a TV kind of situation. So you're talking about lighting is important and good camera is important. So having your face on YouTube is really, really important. But if you can find just creative ways, I talked yesterday about in the branding panel about, the artist Marshmallow and him wearing the big marshmallow on his head. If you can find something creative, even if it was a paper bag where you cut out eye holes and somehow have where your body language is there, that's going to speak a lot to people too. So even if you have to cover your face or a puppet, I don't know, but if those things would work for you and it's still kind of funny and you can make kind of light of that, I think people really appreciate the silliness of it as well, because people are always in it for a good laugh.
I must say that if you're ever going to do anything anonymous on YouTube, sound becomes so much more important, because if you have bad sound,
Yes.
people are tuning out.
Yeah.
True.
All right. Okay, we are.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
Just want to quickly add for TikTok, I want to say, encourage you that there are so many creators out there who don't show their face, especially for book recommendations. And because the good thing about book recommendations is people just want the book. So most of the time. So you can post these quotes in books without even showing your face. You can show like the wall and put some more text on the video, and you can have so much success. I follow accounts that post Wattpad recommendations that have 30, 40, 50K and never show their face. So it can be done, I promise.
Do any of you use Canva to actually create some of your posts? Because the Canva now has this great. Okay, yeah. Tell me a little bit about it.
That's
I mean,
what I use to
I
make
could go on.
Yeah, that's what I do to make the aesthetic videos. I use Canva to do that. And usually though, when I make like the book recommendations, I'll usually just stand in front of my bookshelf and have the bookshelf as the background, and I'll hold like the book in front of the bookshelf, and I may not have my face, probably usually don't have my face in front of it. I'll just hold the book, and I may put like a quote in front of it, or like the rating, whatever the rating was, if I read it that month or whatever. So you can absolutely be a huge influence on book talk without showing your face. Like it's really pretty, I would say pretty easy to do. You can't,
Yeah.
you probably aren't going to get all the laughs and all the goofy stuff, but you can get a ton of followers and ton of success that way. So you can definitely do it.
And just so everyone knows, right now you don't even need editing software. You can actually go ahead and upload a video of you doing something, put it on Canva, add some of your text, whatever, change a couple of settings, and you have a ready-made video that you can download and post to TikTok or even YouTube in some cases. And it's simple. So take advantage of the tools out there. Go and look it up.
I don't even.
We have 3 minutes left.
Oh, sorry.
So I'm sorry. 3 minutes left. So we're going to be looking at the next question. What would be the best type of video approach to your first post on TikTok? So this is for a first timer. Jenna, this is you.
For a first time video approach, I would say right now, if you're posting to that, like right now, take your favorite quote from your book, scroll along your For You page, find a sound you really like, and post the quotes. That's what I would say right now. And then in your caption, post where you can read it. That's probably the best.
Would you also use other social media to help, like put it on Twitter? Because I know you have a big Twitter page as well.
I would take it, post it on TikTok, download it, post it on Instagram Reels, post it on your Instagram story. Everywhere that you have social media, just go for it.
Okay. What ideas do you have for engaging readers on Instagram? Have you managed to break through the Instagram thing yet? Because it's a different audience with different needs. Has anyone managed to break through?
I think the key with Instagram, and what's really great about Instagram, is the hashtags. So taking, Jenna talking about taking her videos from TikTok, she's making them in TikTok and then putting them on Instagram, and she's using Reels. And the key here is to use Reels and not to use your story. When you're using your story, you're only hitting the people that already follow you. So if you're trying to broaden your reach and bring in new readers, we want to use hashtags on those. So throwing it in Reels where it shows down into your actual grid down at the bottom, that's what you want to do there. So I think that it's really important, if you want to break through and bring new people in, is to make it so they can find it with really with tags that are really pertaining to your story. So if you're writing fantasy, put in there fantasy. Make sure you're doing writing community. Make sure you're putting Wattpad as a hashtag. So it's really endless with the hashtags you can use, whereas you're really limited with the space you're allowed on TikTok. So usually, depending on how much of a caption you put there, really we've gone down to on TikTok only doing four hashtags, just because TikTok also has a thing where if you do too many hashtags, it thinks you're spamming. So we're trying to fool the algorithm all the time. So just make sure that that's your place is on Instagram to really use those hashtags to bring in new people.
Well, I just learned something new, and I think the entire audience, not every single person, of course, but that's a really good tip. Anyway, that brings us to the end of our session. We are officially out of time. So just remember that the drawing for the We Thrive Together Wattpad coins will be announced shortly. The next panel is Smells Like Teen panel, discussing what readers and writers love about young adult stories and how the storytelling landscape is changing. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to Crystal, Felicity, and Jenna. I'm here mixing your name. Okay. With that, goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.